that you can protect your home from costly water damage. This is terrible. Costly water damage. I got a story to tell you. Rancid Kachi.
Terrible.
So the story goes like this. You know
Yes.
this story. So my parents, many years ago, go away to visit us in the States. And they did not know that there was a little hairline fracture in their upstairs toilet. So, you know, days go by, and they had a neighbor come in every 48 hours, according to their insurance policy. One day they came into the family room, this neighbor, and the whole family room ceiling had fallen. $30,000 in damage.
48 hours is a lot of water.
Yeah, and it had probably been going for a little bit, and then finally that. So water damage is just so costly.
I have a solution for that.
You do. You got a lot of them. A lot of them. So tell us about that.
Well, let's start from the outside. The weather is cold.
Yep.
The worst thing about the weather now, you get a lot of freeze and thaw, so you have to be mindful of that. So the water melts, then it freezes. So that ice pushes that liquid water into the house. So you got to be mindful of that. When your house is already built, there's not much you can do with the foundation. What you got to do is worry about what's happening around, above the ground. So start with the roof. Inspect your roof once a year. Like really, nobody thinks about it. Check it, because sometimes there's problems. The shingles are worn. Maybe the valleys are cracked, or there's places where water can get in. You may not see it right now, but there will come a time where it starts coming in a big storm, and it's too late, right? So when it comes time to replacing your roof, think about going for the bells and whistles. People always opt out of the bells and whistles. They don't want to spend the money. You're doing it once, do it right. Things like Ice and Water Shield, which is a membrane. It's a pliable membrane that goes underneath the shingles. They put it usually 3 feet up at the bottom in the valleys. I like to spend the money and put it on the entire roof.
The entire
Added
roof,
insurance for me. And it's a great product.
Is there a reduction on your insurance if you tell them that you have all this stuff?
There isn't, and there really should be, but on a roof there isn't.
Okay.
Something like a drip edge is a simple molding that goes at the bottom where the shingles start. And what that does, when the shingle starts there, it directs the water, one, into the eaves trough, two, it prevents water from blowing back underneath when there's wind. So these are little things that make a big difference. You don't have any ice dams built up and things like that. Eaves troughs, make sure you clean them out all the time, because accumulation of water results in water pushing underneath the shingles. And if you don't want to clean them, get something like this. These are little covers that go in, and you can put them in yourself. There's different variations of them. So these things go in and prevent all the debris from going in, blows off the top.
The existing one that you've had the house for 25 years, they've got them for the...
Yes, you just go on the eaves trough, you snap this into place, it takes all the debris and blows it off. So that's not a problem. When the water comes down, this is the most critical. You got to make sure the water goes away from the house. So you got to look every season, make sure the grade goes away from the house. Especially now when it freezes and thaws. Like I said, that liquid water, if it's going towards the house, that's what it'll go. It'll push into the foundation. Use things like this where it drives it away from, it mounts onto the eaves trough, drives it away, right? And if you're getting into building a new house, again, look at bells and whistles, because when you're doing a foundation, it's worth the money to waterproof it with a product like this, which is, again, a membrane that goes on the foundation wall. So this sticks all over the foundation, and it's essentially a waterproof skin, so water doesn't push in.
I've seen that,
right?
Yeah, new builds, sure.
People opt out of these bells and whistles because it costs money. They go, I don't, you know, and you pay for it in the long run.
You do,
right?
for sure.
So when you go inside the house, let me give you a little statistic. Vancouver gets about 30 inches of rain a year, okay? Your shower will get 1,100 inches of rain a year. That's how much more water is in your shower. So you don't think about that, and all that water pushes its way, the moisture, into the wall cavities and around. And there's a lot of potential for leaks. So you have to waterproof with the best methods out there. So some of the old, outdated methods are outdated. So look at new technology, like these membranes that are already applied to a board. So in place of drywall, you put something like this up instead before the tile goes on.
So if you're doing a bathroom reno...
Shower stall.
Got it?
When you're redoing it, you use a product like this. So Schluter is a system. It's a waterproofing system. So they have these panels that are made out of a styrofoam core.
Oh, wow.
They've got the waterproofing membrane on top. They've got other components to the system, like shower niches. So they go right beside it. So you got a built-in shower niche that's already waterproofed. And then they've got a membrane that you can apply, like wallpaper, to it. And now, essentially, you're creating a waterproof skin inside your shower.
And then you just tile over that.
And you tile over it.
Okay.
I've had consumers say to me, well, I had a contractor tell me that's overkill. I go, well, if it's overkill for your shower never to leak, then I'll take that, right?
No, I think it's worth it.
When it comes to the inside toilets, big danger. Washing machines, big danger. Again, we don't look at these things. So look at a toilet the hose, the water supply hose, the washing machine hoses. Replace them if they're old. Replace them with the braided hoses. They're a lot stronger. They'll hold up a lot better.
Do
And
you need
update
to get a
them.
plumber in there to
No,
do that?
this just unscrews.
Yeah.
You can unscrew it by hand, or maybe you need a plier just to loosen it, especially the toilet one. Once the valve's turned off, you just undo it, undo the bottom. A little bit of water might come out from the tank, but you just have a cup there, you can catch it, right? So change those. If you do laundry a lot and it's upstairs and it's accessible, I like to put a component like this in at the minimum, which is a little shut-off system here where it's accessible, so your valves are right there. So if you're not using it, you can turn them off. That way, when you're away, you got peace of mind, right?
Yeah, you do.
You don't worry about these hoses bursting. If you don't have the accessibility to do that, look at a product like this. So in Teleflow, the hoses hook up to here. The machine plugs into here. This monitors the usage of electricity from the machine. So when it's using electricity, it knows the machine is on, so it opens the water valve. And then when it's not working, it shuts it off.
That's great. Where do you get that?
This you get on Amazon.
Okay.
So, and then it's got a sensor that goes on the ground as well. This is a water sensor, so it's when it's sitting on there, if water bursts, a pipe bursts while it's running, this will tell it, hey, water's on the ground, it'll shut it off, right?
That's out of a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's a cool product. So for a localized situation like the bathroom,
Yep.
okay, or a basement where there's a hot water tank, products like this Honeywell leak detector and freeze detector, this will also has a sensor like this that sits on the ground. It's connected through Wi-Fi, so it'll send you a message.
So
that
where do
I
you put
sense
that,
water.
though? So where do you put
would
that?
put this downstairs by your hot water tank on the basement floor. The sensor sits on the ground. If any water hits that ground, from wherever it's coming from, it'll send you a message. And it'll say, I sense water. At least you can go and check.
Sure, right.
That's the thing. Now, let's say you're away, you can't get there to check. The ultimate system to me is one that I found this last year at Consumer Electronics Show.
Yeah, but you couldn't bring it to us.
I could, because it wasn't on the market yet.
Yeah.
And now they just launched it in Canada, and it's like, I think this is a game changer. I love it because now the potential for that $30,000 damage is gone, right? So this system is a collaboration between a plumbing company, Uponor, and a technology company, Belkin, which does all these switches and things. And they came up with this system. It's called the Fin. And the Fin is a monitor and a valve that sits on your water line coming into the house. And this connects...
Is it inside the house?
It's inside the house.
Okay, so
as soon as the water comes into the house from the basement, this goes on, and it monitors the pressure, it monitors the temperature, and the flow. And the thing is, water has a language. And you guys might laugh about that, but every faucet, when you turn it on, the water starts flowing a certain way. This senses the difference between the faucets. So now, it'll know whether it's a washing machine being used, it'll know if it's a toilet being run, or a faucet, or a shower.
Dishwasher or something.
Dishwasher, everything. So you program the app, and it gets feedback. It says, hey, I have a flow going on. Do you know what it is? You'll say, yeah, that's my kitchen sink. So now it knows all the time. The beauty of it is, it senses everything 240 times a second. The app gives you all this information through here, and you've got the pressure, temperature, and all that stuff, and it will give you alerts. And on the alerts, you can go in here.
Let's say you're away.
Well, it'll give you an email.
Okay.
It'll send you an email. It'll say, I sense a water, or the water pressure. I got one the other day that said the water pressure in your house has dropped in the last hour. It might be a pinhole leak. So then it says, go around, check around, look under the sinks for things, okay? So it'll say, you know, like a shower usage, 74 gallons at so-and-so time. I'm like, oh my God. So I go on, who used a shower for 4 hours, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So, right? And then it gives you also information about what your water usage, meaning how much water you use, what time of day. What's beautiful is that it will send you the information, and if you don't respond, and if it is concerned, because it will sense if it's a frozen pipe, it will know, because when water freezes, it expands and increases the pressure slightly in the pipe, that knows it. And if there's a burst, it will know it, and if you don't respond, it will shut the water off to the house. So now, that $30,000 damage may have been $800, right?
Wow.
So,
Wow.
to me, this is brilliant. So it's around a $1,500 mark with a basic installation. That one time, I think insurance companies will start looking at this and saying, hey, that's a big difference for us.
That's a big discount for you.
Yeah, of course. They should,
Ranson,
right?
thank you so much. Ranson Talk, everybody. It's fabulous. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.